Hello guys, welcome back. Now we have successfully completed our data pre-processing part. We are going to use one famous library and you can call it as an extension of your Python matplotlib library, that is Seaborn. And we are going to understand how we can use that Seaborn library and we can plot beautiful graphs and advanced graph from this library. And you can call it as an extension of the matplot library. So for installing that library, the first command you are going to use it pip install cbond. So whenever you are going to run it, it will install the library cbond. After that, after it installed successfully, how you have to import it. So for the importation, it is really very simple. You just need to write import cbond as SNS. So cbond will be imported. Now we can import Seaborn easily. There will be no issue for that, but we have to read this data also. So for doing that, we need to see it will be imported, but for reading the data purposes, you know it, we have to import the pandas library also. So for doing that, let's import all the required library like import pandas as PD, and we need that matplotlib also import matplot lib.pyplot as PLT. Okay, so we have imported Seaborn, Pandas, and Matplotlib library. Now let's read the data, then we can like produce some graphical representation of it. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to read a movie dataset that I have currently in my system. We'll provide that dataset to you guys also. So for that, we are going to create a df variable, and inside that we are going to read that pd.read underscore csv, and inside that we are just going to pass our data name, file name, you can say. So it is movie, yeah, movie collection independent.csv. So just reading that data, let's see what kind of things we have in this data set. So we have marketing expense, production expense, multiplex coverage, budget, movie length, lead actor rating, lead actress rating, director rating, producer rating, critic rating, trailer reviews, time taken, Twitter hashtags, averages, actors, num multiplex, and others like comedy, genres, and all that. Now, what what we are going to do, first thing, I already told you, when you import any kind of data, try to check whether it has any kind of null values or not. Cleaning part is very necessary for us. So let's check whether it's cleaned or not. df dot is null dot sum. Okay. So yeah, we have proper clean data. We have proper clean data. Now what we can do, we can start making a visualization of it. So for that, we are just going to start with a basic line plot, and after that we'll create more plots like scatter plot, bar plot, box plot, and other plots also. Okay, so for doing so, now we are just going to read, or like we have read already. Now we have to plot a line plot. So line plot, as we already know, that line plot require two data, x data and y data. So we have to pass two data, x data and y data. Okay, now let's choose any kind of x data and respective y data for from this column. So let's take marketing expense and production expense, how this is varying to each other. If marketing expense is 20.1264, then production expense is 59.62. We can call it as $1 million and all that if you want. Now, l- for creating a simple line plot. For creating a simple line plot, we just have to write SNS dot line plot, SNS dot line plot for making a simple line plot. So inside this, it required two parameters, x and y. So for x, what we have? We have marketing underscore expense. So we'll pass it as marketing underscore expense. Now in y what we are passing? We are passing production underscore expense. So let's pass production underscore expense. Now we have passed the column name right now, only the column name. So we have to tell from which data you are passing this column name. So I will tell I am passing from DF, that is my data frame name. Let's see what it is making. Okay, we got an error. So could not interpret values marketing X for parameter X. So it is not able to interpret the value of it. That means our marketing expense value it is not able to get it. So actually, just see here we have marketing expense, marketing underscore expense, and here we have written marketing underscore expense. So this G will be not written there. Okay. Now, as we have draw this graph, so as you can see, there are not very significant meaning of this graph. Although it's line plot, but there is nothing significant meaning of this graph. Okay. Now what we can do, we can just take another column, like let's take multiplex coverage, multiplex coverage for this multiplex underscore coverage. We again run with some mistakes. Let's copy. Then it will be where we are making small spelling mistakes. Yeah. Now, as you can see, before 500, as you can see, before $500, it is not very understandable. But after $500, $500 million, it is little bit understandable. That graph is going up, then up, then constant, then up, down like this. Okay, so this is the basic line plot that we are drawing with our SNS dot line plot, and we can do a lot of things into it. If we want to increase the graph size, we can do also. If you want to decrease the graph size, we can do a lot of things. But first, let me choose a very good example of your line plot. So producer rating, let's take it as a X column. It's taking time. Okay. Now it started with the high end values and it is getting low. It is getting low at the bottom. Okay. So this is also line plot. So you can choose multiple column and you can create a line plot out of it. Now, what we need to do, we need, if we need to increase or decrease the graph size, if you need to do another kind of thing. So for that, we have one thing that we can do here. Sorry, we can put it like plt dot figure fig size. That is, you are getting fig size equal to, and inside this, we are going to pass the figure size of it. So right now, let's pass 15 by 10. Now see, our graph is now bigger as compared to the previous graph. So how we can increase and decrease it? So for increasing or decreasing the graph size, we can call this plt dot figure fixed size, and inside that we can give our length and breadth. So right now we have given it as a 15:10. Now it is making in the ratio 15:10. Suppose if you give as a 5:10, then it will make some small graph. It's loading. Yeah, just see, 5 is a width and 10 is a length. So first value is your width and 10 is a length. So let's reverse it and you will get a good graph as compared to the before one. Yeah, now you're getting a better graph. Okay, now you're getting a better graph as compared to previous one. So this is a graph of a line plot, and yeah, we can make it. We can do further more changes into it. Let's see what kind of changes we can do into this line plot. Let me just copy it, run this once more. Now paste it. Yeah, it's made it that graph. Let me just copy it here and run it. Yeah, that will be better if I'm not wrong. Yeah, now it's way much better. We have resize it with the plt.figure fixed size. And now, if you want to give alternative x label and y label, how we can give it? So for giving alternative x label and y label, we have a function in PLT. We call it as a plt.x label, and inside that we'll pass the label name that you wanted to put in on x-axis. So right now I wanted to put as a producer space rating. Similarly, you can also label the y-axis. So we can write plt dot y label, if I'm not wrong, and here we can pass it multiplex coverage. Okay, let's run this. As you can see, we have put it X label as producer rating, and we have put it label as a multiplex coverage. Okay. Now you can do a lot of configuration into this. Like we can do a lot of configuration to our graph. Like we can change the color, we can make beautiful graphs out of it. So I will suggest you guys, if you want to more explore about it, for changing the colors and all that, you have to see the documentation of the respected libraries. Suppose if you wanted to make the changes into the color, size, and all that, you have to check out the matplotlib documentation, or you have to check out the documentation for the Seaborn also if you require. Okay, right now we just need, we just want to change the color if of the line. So what we can do, we can just pass color, not percent color, color is equal to R. Let's pass this right. If it is having like red color, it will, yeah. Now you can see, now our blue color line plot has been made into the red color line plot. Okay, so these are the little things that we can do here and play with the graphs. But here we are going to understand more about the visualization of the data. Okay, so for that reason, let's take another data set and have understanding more about those things. So yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to import the previous Titanic data set, that is my favorite one. So for that, I'm just writing data is equal to pd dot read underscore csv, and here we'll pass train dot csv, and yeah. So we have this Titanic data set right now. So in which column we want to apply that, what we call line plot. So right now we have two column, age and where column. Let's try to apply the line plot on both of the columns. So as we already know how to apply this, so for that we have to write sns dot, first let's create a proper size of it. We'll write plt dot figure fixed size is equal to, I want to give it as like a 5, 10 comma 5, 10 comma 5. And before that I will write, after that I will write sns dot line plot, and inside this we'll write x is equal to, we wanted a's, we'll write a's, y is equal to, we want to write y is equal to fair, so we'll write fair. Data, as we know, our current data is the data variable, so we'll write data is equal to data here. And after that we'll put color is equal to, let's take green as a color right now. Let's plot it. Yeah, now it is pretty much like little bit understandable. You can see it is starting our x values nearly starting from, you can say it as 5 or 10, and after that it is going around the fare, it has 150. The maximum fare, as you can say, 150 we are having. Now as you can see, we have some fare that is also greater than 150, as we have already taken some insight from the data. So we have some people who were more rich as compared to the other people. So there are 7 to 8 people, if we remember it, whose worth was more than $250. Okay, so we are getting a proper data of line plot of age column versus fare column. Okay, as you already know, you can make label, you can resize it and all that. So yeah, this was for this video, and we'll meet you to the next video, guys. Bye bye.